Number 209 in the Imprint range from 1998 is Return to Paradise, starring Vince Vaughn, Joaquin Phoenix and Anne Heche. And this is one of those movies that feels like it could be a kind of true story, but it's not. It's a kind of fabricated one, weaving in story elements from several real tales. And this one is all about three guys. We get Lewis, we get Sheriff, we get Tony. They are living up their life in Malaysia. People who bumped into each other on their travels. They bought some drugs, they're having some good times, they're enjoying life.
You keep this. I got Tony's and that's plenty.
I wasn't trying to take Excedrin out of this fucking country.
Take it.
Why the hell we buy so much hash anyway?
At those prices, we couldn't afford not to.
Sheriff and Tony decide to leave, go back to the real world and go on with living their lives. Lewis is going to stay behind. He's going to go and help some orangutans and just kind of enjoy whatever he's doing. And we jump 2 years. We jump 2 years and we see Sheriff Vince Vaughn's character being a limo driver and kind of going about his business. He's one of these characters that's very on the surface, something that Vince Vaughn plays very well, that kind of larger than life character that is all about appearance, all talk and very little substance beneath the surface. And as he picks up Anne Heche's character, he discovers that she's a lawyer. She's a lawyer who has been looking for him. The day that Sheriff and Tony left Malaysia, Lewis was arrested, and because of the amount of drugs they had, he has been sentenced to death. And this is where the kind of crux of the story comes in.
In order for Lewis not to be considered a dealer, you and Tony have to fly back to Penang and accept your share of the responsibility.
They can stop Lewis from being executed if they go back and take their share of the responsibility. If one goes back, they'll need to spend 6 years in prison. If two go back, they will need to spend 3 years. But Lewis will be alive. He's never gave their names before now. It's only with 7 days until his execution date that this decision has to be made. And it just destroys his world. And this is the sort of moral quandary. Can he live with himself and block himself off for this person that he only knew for a small period of time? Can he let someone die?
You're appealing to emotions I don't have and a fucking morality there's no way in the world I could afford.
Think you
Even
are,
if I took your
Sheriff,
lousy
listen,
bribe that you offered
it doesn't
me.
change the fact that a man's life hangs in the balance.
Night.
What does he do? And to see Sheriff, this character who is steadfast, just very open about the whole situation. Nope, I can't do it, I won't do it, and just being almost blasé about it, trying to find and latch on to any excuse.
Why put yourself through all the agony? And when you know you're not going, I mean, who's kidding who?
Whatsoever. Anne Heche is terrific as the lawyer who is trying to manipulate, cajole, get these guys to agree to do something that's pretty much going to have them locked up for the next 3 years of their life. But in the course of doing that, they are saving a man's life. And it's the sort of moral question at the heart of this one is one that's really fascinating. Now, there's some things and aspects of the film that I find really detract from that and become a little bit more creating a kind of movie experience. There is an aspect of a reporter which is just not needed in the film whatsoever, and there is a kind of forced love story later on which is again not quite needed in the film either. The fact that they have this moral quandary that's just put upon them is just a fascinating insight.
We walk out of here, Tony, that boy hangs.
And if we stay, maybe we hang. But if we leave, we live. That's the one thing I know for sure right now.
You have Sheriff, pretty much a character that doesn't have any real friends. It doesn't have any real relationships. It living an almost solitary lifestyle, who's nothing really to lose by going away and just refusing to do it. Seeing Tony, a man who's built a career, a family, a fiancé, who is almost instantly like, yep, this is the right thing to do, I'm going to have to do it. And dealing with that with his fiancée is interesting.
Beth, I checked. Penang prison is at a third world level of sanitation, nutrition.
And the way it plays out was again, surprising, a little bit different. Without the aspects of the love story and the reporter, I think this thing's great. Adding those in, it takes it down to merely good. But I think Vince Vaughn is pretty great in the role. I like him in this serious but kind of jokey performance that he has. This bravado of just like, I've made my decision, I'm not going there, there's not a chance in hell, you're not going to convince me, but hey, let's hang out anyway. It's just a kind of fun character. Joaquin Phoenix, who isn't in the movie much, but my goodness, when he turns up, he is just electric, owning the screen with some terrific, unusual performance that just comes alive. He brings all the emotion and heartbreak into the film whenever he's on screen. He's used sparingly, but he is extremely effective. I found Return to Paradise to be a pretty captivating story. It held my attention, kept me hooked on what was going to happen. I kind of was interested in the characters. Sometimes I liked them, sometimes I was repulsed by them, sometimes I just felt a lot of empathy towards their decision and what they had to do. It was very watchable, very interesting, and I thought it was pretty great. This, of course, has some good extras. Let's dive in, have a little look at them. So here we are in the disc for Return to Paradise. We'll go to the special features. We have Force Majeure, directing Return to Paradise, interview with director Joseph Rubin. This is 28 minutes 10 seconds. It's an audio interview but with a lot of images of the film played over it. It's really insightful, talking about how he worked his way up into this movie, the challenges of this and some of the performances within the film. We have A Godless Place, scoring Return to Paradise, interview with composer Mark Mancina, which is 11 minutes 33. Again, talking about how he lucked into the kind of business doing big budgeted movies, starting with Speed, working his way up through action movies, some of the key ones of the 90s, to getting to do something different like Return to Paradise. We have archival interviews, one with Vince Vaughn and Anne Heche, which is 4 minutes 18. One with Joaquin Phoenix, which is 7 minutes 15, and we have a trailer which is 2 minutes 19, and that's the special features for Return to Paradise. So there we have it. Return to Paradise is a good film, well worth picking up. I think the extras in the film just make it something that I'm happy to have in my collection, something I would recommend picking up, and I would love to know your thoughts on this film. Have you seen it? Do you want to see it? Is it something that you saw advertised in the late 90s like I did and just kind of wrote off as I'm not interested in that, only to see it later on and go, dang, I should have watched it sooner. Either way, let me know your thoughts in the comment box below. While you're down there, give me a thumbs up because it really helps these videos. In the comment box, in the description box, are links to the Patreon, the membership program, and manvfilm.com, all ways in which you can support me, and that would be greatly appreciated. There's more content here. I'll see you next time on Man v Film.